Welcome to another episode of This Goose is Cooked, where we review books intended for our future generations. Today's book, Time to Say Goodnight, by Sally Lloyd-Jones, illustrated by Jane Chapman, the illustrator of Bear Snores On. Who's ever heard of Bear Snores On? Don't know why she had to include that, but we'll touch on that later. Published by HarperCollins Publishers. Time to Say Goodnight is a demanding book, written as a verse novel or a poem. It wants you, the reader, to stop what you are doing and go to bed and fast. It does this by showing different animals of the forest being told to go to bed. Jane Chapman made sure to include that she was the illustrator of Bear Snores On, to give her more credibility and name drop. But if you're going to name drop, include a book that more people know. She also clearly wants to separate herself from this book, and says, hey, this book may suck, but I've done some better shit, like Bear Snores On. Please give me another chance. Compared to many other books, it does seem like she put in some effort into the pictures to depict the night and creatures as soft, warm, and comforting. But I am wondering if the author and the illustrator spoke to one another on this book, because it seems like there were some mix-ups between the pictures and the words. The book starts on bunnies being scolded to stop hopping and go to bed. The book even states, I quote, "Good night, bunnies, close your eyes!" Exclamation point. And it looks to be coming from what looks like a hare, not a bunny rabbit, standing on its hind legs pointing at them. This is either mistake number one between the words and the pictures, or that's the next door neighbor coming over to yell at the bunnies. The bunnies are looking up at the hare dumbfounded, like, we're just having some fun, the party just started. The yelling continues with little birdies hanging out in the tree, just singing and having a good time. They are being reprimanded and told they can't sing any more songs, that they have to go to sleep now. The author needs to know that these intimidation tactics and yelling will get her nowhere. I can't believe this fascist is trying to shut down the arts like this. Again, more yelling as the book continues, with hungry squirrels being told they can't eat. They have to go to bed hungry. But this is also where mistake number two happens, between the author and the illustrator. The book states, and I quote, "Little squirrels on the hill." Except there is no hill in sight. These squirrels are hanging on for dear life on the tree branches, just hoping to get some food. Not very good cohesion at all. There's so much yelling in this book, but the book takes an odd detour from telling everyone to go to sleep. It stops in on owls being told to wake up, so everyone else has to go to bed, but the predator of the forest, who must be tied in with this fascist who wrote the book, gets to be awake and terrorize the other animals in the forest. The book moves back to telling bears to go to sleep, but the author, this time, does it passive-aggressively, probably knowing that the bears won't stand for her shit. But the book picks back up the yelling for both the deer and mice, the prey of the forest, all while lying to them, telling them they are safe and protected, so then the owl or a hunter can come in and prey on them. The author runs out of words or loses her voice for a couple of pages, so the illustrator picks up the slack and depicts all of the forest animals nestled up. The author finds one last gasp at the end of the book to yell at you, the reader, with, I quote, "Close your eyes, go to sleep." Sally Lloyd-Jones is the classic neighbor next door who ruins everyone's good time, trying to boss everyone around to do things her way, even giving everyone a curfew. Jane Chapman clearly fell on some hard times when she took on this book, and wants everyone to remember her for her better work. This book's writing had a very unsettling tone if you were reading it just before bed. The pictures carried the way, so on a scale of 1 to 5, I'm going to give this book a 2. I'll have a taste, and then push it around on my plate to make it look like I ate it. This goose is cooked. Join us next time for another in-depth book review.